Kill that bass head. Alright, let's do this.
I'm on the air, we got this pockets flow. It's me and Tony on the mics, we gotta let you know of current events, little gaming, sprinkle in some entertainment. We stay humble, but our moms still think we're famous. Turn up the bass and baby, maybe let that magic flow. Our spoken word is all the things you really wanna know. Having a good time on the show, T-Bows and Matty G. Tune in and hit subscribe and join us on the FAP.
Welcome everyone to the Freaking Awesome Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Bowes. Unfortunately, Matty G once again cannot make it today, but that's okay because as you can see on the screen, we're more than making up with probably our largest amount of guests at one single time. And I'm sure as you might be able to look around and see these handsome gentlemen's faces, you've seen them not only maybe here, but definitely all over social media with over 3 million followers on TikTok alone. And they just keep building steam. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Adam and Metal Hawks. How are you doing today, gentlemen?
What is up?
That is crazy. So let's you know, we normally have some news and all this other stuff, but I want to just kind of jump in because we got a lot of stuff to talk about, and you guys are really kicking it up. A lot of great humor on social media. Like you know, I remember I came across one of your videos. I think one of the first ones when you were doing Sweet Child of Mine, and it was kind of like, hey, look at these guys. He said they sound great, and they're using some pop bottles and buckets and playing acoustic, and it was really fun. And little did I realize that you know, I just all of a sudden started coming across you guys in my feed like 1 minute after another, and I'm just like, my God, I got to reach out to these guys because it's absolutely fantastic. So let's kind of jump right into the beginning because you're all kind of from a little bit of different talent pools that you all met through kind of an interesting possible set of circumstances. Adam, you were, of course, on, was it American Idol? I think it was the 15th season. Yeah, and it's really funny because I remember trying to look up, I actually saw one of the videos where you were singing in it, and I thought that was really cool, and you were in the top 12, I think, at that time. And then later, I kept seeing these things saying, oh, he only made it to the top 15. I'm like, well, if you actually go back and you look at it, no, he's like, don't sell this man short. So, but quite a different kind of experience. I think it's really cool because, you know, you guys are bringing back some good old, almost hair band rock and roll that you just don't see anymore. And it's amazing. So why don't you guys kind of tell us how did you all get together?
So okay, so that. Oh, you were gonna say something?
Ryan gets that.
Ryan, you got it. All right. I'll tell the story best anyway. Okay. So it actually started about 7 years ago with me and Johnny. We met at a middle school talent show, and we just started jamming afterwards from there. And then Johnny and Alex met at a music store where they both took lessons at, and the three of us started jamming. And then we've been struggling to find a bass player pretty much since we formed the band. And then one day I was just like, you know, screw it, I'm just gonna play bass. And then Adam comes into the picture. So he was working on a solo project with our former management, like at the time or whatever. Mm-hmm. And one of the guys was like, hey, you know, there's this great band, Metal Hawks. They're young, but they're really talented. And we got together, and let's just say it wasn't a solo project anymore. This was a totally different band, you know. So we've just been going solid ever since.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Look at that. You already got people in. You guys do rock. Andrew Swain, thank you very much for posting in there. Again, you know, everybody, you're more than welcome to jump into the chat, everybody. I know it's still a new feature for everybody because since we started StreamYard, but please feel free to reach out, message these guys. We got lots of time to talk about it. So, I mean, that's a really cool story. You know, now I heard that you guys kind of had a lead singer at one point and he backed out. Guess who's feeling silly now? Right. But no, that's really cool. So it's nice that you're able to all connect, and the fact that it was just like, hey, we were hanging out, we connected, and hey, we needed a music store and connected, and it's kind of a neat little backstory for everybody because, you know, a lot of the people in music industry we've come across have the tendency to know each other through the grapevines or through other bands and stuff, and then you kind of all pull together. But you know, you guys have a nice, rich, good old-fashioned story yourself, so that's really cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So for Adam, I do have a we got another question here. Oh no, favorite is Ryan. Look at that. You got a Ryan's got the
You're
fan.
you're my favorite branch.
We're gonna start a tally of love that comes up here. See who gets it at the end. So Adam, I mean, I think at first, you see a lot of footage of you, and you also did another showcase after American Idol, I believe, and I can't remember what the name of that was at the moment, but I remember coming across it, and you were rocking out some White Snake, and what I super love about when you're on stage, obviously, like you've got all this energy and presence, and it's something that I guess you just don't see, like, a lot of people compare you, of course, to Jack Black, and clearly you got, I don't know how the hell you do it, but you sound exactly like him when you're singing, which is absolutely amazing. And it's that same kind of energy that passes over when you're on stage, which you just won't normally see from a lead singer of a rock band, right? So I mean, that's really cool because it kind of puts you over, and it shows like how jazzed you are and how much you love being on stage. I got to ask you though, I don't know how you do it, but how do you move around so much and sing? I've tried doing this and it's a shit show. Like, I mean, it's the weirdest thing in the world. And I'm like, how do people jump around and move and sing without sounding like they're bouncing all over the place?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's very tough. If you notice, a lot of the times you'll kind of like do a big sweeping move and then try to plant yourself for like a big note or something. But chances are, anytime that you've seen me move and sing, it's just because the crowd's energy is giving it, enough adrenaline to just make it happen,
Yeah.
When there's like a live crowd, anything's possible. So, stage dive, who knows?
Oh my God. I remember the days of mosh pits and stuff, and feeling how bruised you'd come out of one of those things. It takes a lot of trust to like say, I'm going to dive off this stage and hope everybody catches me.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is a level of trust you just don't see with a lot of people nowadays.
Well, I'm sure I won't be doing that anytime soon. So,
we do have a question here from Branch. I have a question for Ryan. Transitioning from guitar to bass, is there a huge difference in string gauge? And the follow-up is, did you struggle with adjusting to the stamina needed, or was that a natural swap?
It was kind of natural. Like I was never a guitar player in the band. I used to be just a singer, and then obviously, like I said before, when we couldn't find a bass player, we just said, screw it, I'm just gonna play bass. But I mean, yeah, it was pretty natural for me. Like I didn't really get into the habit of playing guitar, even though I do play a little bit. But yeah, it's just a natural swap, honestly.
Wow. So I mean,
me,
you
anyway.
must have a lot of kind of hats that you can put on. I mean, there's not a lot of people out there in kind of music that just say, okay, I don't really play an instrument, but I'll pick up the guitar and I'll play it. Oh, okay, I'll switch over to bass and I'll do it.
Right.
Right.
It's not too many of those people.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. That's neat that you kind of became the man of many hats to be able to do that in the band and switch things around. We've got another question here from Andrew Swain. What's your favorite song to play?
Ooh.
We can go around the clock on this one.
God.
Who wants
be an original? I'm gonna pick an original for this.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys, but all right. I guess I'll go first then. I'm gonna pick "Strain," one of our songs, and the reasoning is because I like the solos in it. We have like each member has a solo, and I think it's really cool. So I'm picking "Strain."
That's very cool. Yeah.
That's a fun one.
Very interesting about solos, right? Here's another thing you don't see in music today. A lot of solos, and I personally blame the attention span on people. Like, I mean, you think about like "Carry On My Wayward Son," it's got a 4-minute solo and interlude in that sucker,
right,
and how awesome it is, and then you just find that you're listening to it and you're driving, and you're just like, holy fuck, is this song still going? What's happening here? So
longer than most songs.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's exactly it. All right. So Alex, what about you?
I'm gonna have to go with backwards probably, just because I love the backbeat that starts with it, and honestly, like, came from probably my most favorite drummer, Travis Barker, the song "I Miss You," because I really was inspired by the rim shots, the clicks in the beginning.
Okay.
So honestly, I probably have to go with that one.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
And that actually just came out not too long ago, actually, wasn't it? In
Yeah, it came out about like 3
mid-August.
weeks ago. Yeah,
Yeah,
like mid-August,
so-
kind of. It's a fun
Yeah,
song.
it's a fantastic song. I really love it.
Thank you.
Adam,
Yeah,
what
thank
about you?
Well, I guess if we're keeping in the theme of original songs here, one of my favorite to perform live is just got to be "Long Die Rock."
Okay.
It's like pretty much a song about my departure from American Idol and how I was gonna be like, I'm making a rock band, and all these people kept telling me like, rock is dead. Why would you do that? And it's like, well, if rock is dead, then it's gonna be dying for a long time because
Yeah.
it's still around. So if it's dead,
That's right.
then long die rock. That's the little catchphrase of it. So and it's kind of like a great song to get the crowd going. I get everybody with their little devil horns in the air, and we're just all in it together. So it's a lot of fun.
That's really cool. Yeah. And it's funny that you do bring that up, and because it's true, you just don't hear about rock like you do with pop and rap and everything else is going. And I mean, I still am maybe a bit of a stickler where I turn around and say, some of the best music was between the 80s and the 90s. And when the hair bands and everything came in, what I love about rock compared to pop and hip hop and all these other things is it's about talent with rock. It's not about how the way you look. It's not about the things you do. It's talent. Yeah. And you have to sound good to be a rock band. Whereas with rap and with hip hop, everything's so auto-tuned all the time that it's not about talent. It's about looking good on stage, right? So do you have the stage presence? Do you have, showmanship, or can you actually sing? Can you actually play an instrument? So
not only that, but it's like each individual has to be talented, but then you have to make sure everybody can work together.
Yeah,
it's true.
You don't usually have like a track that everyone's playing to, or you have your choreography. Like, all right, just stay with the choreography, and we'll all be in sync. Yeah. It's like no, it just comes from a bunch of practice and just knowing the material. I mean, when you write the song, it's much easier to know the material, and sometimes you come up with something better right on the fly. But keeping the band tight is also something that's I feel like something that rock brings to the table. It's like, here's these 4 guys, and they're just perfectly in sync, making something awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a little bit of with a lot of rock and roll artists in the past, because creative differences with 4 members in the band, when you've got different different inspirations and different likes and stuff like that, music can kind of go in different directions, and that's sometimes hard, and that's what in the past has been really bad for keeping bands together, right? Is just that creative difference. But you guys seem to I actually love watching some of your videos and seeing all of you generally have got some form of band or rock shirt on, and it's like kind of cool to see. Like, look at this influence, and you can see this flow and chain, and why you guys work so well together because of some of the people that obviously you guys idolize and love listening to, right? So it works really, really well. Ryan, your favorite song?
I'm gonna go with an original that hasn't been technically released yet, but we've been playing for a while. It's a song called Underground. So we were in Virginia just recently, about 2 weeks ago, for Wood Talk, and that was our first gig back since COVID hit. And we opened up with that song, and it was just amazing. That's a great song. That's a great opener. If you guys ever hear it.
I was going to say when you release it to the public for everybody to listen to. So there you go, little foreshadowing, right? There's already some more songs.
Exactly, little foreshadowing.
So that's very cool. So if you're not watching the show or listening to it later, you guys are missing out. You don't even know what's going on. So that's very cool. So on top of that, and now I have kind of like my own question, and it doesn't have to be too much information behind it. But given we talked about your rock kind of backgrounds, of your own personal favorite songs that aren't yours, which one's your favorite? We'll start again back around with Johnny.
It's gotta be a Van Halen song because that's my favorite band. It's really hard to choose. It's not really a song. It's more of like a piece, I guess you'd say. But I'm gonna go with "Eruption" from Eddie Van Halen.
Okay.
I don't know. I just feel like it's so creative, and it inspired millions to pick up the guitar, including myself. So I think that is my song. If that's
Okay.
considered. But.
So then a quick follow-up to that is, what generation of Van Halen do you support?
See, that's another hard question. Damn, these are really difficult questions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with the Diamond Dave generation.
Really?
Even
okay.
though I like Sammy, like
Yep.
I like both of them. I feel like you can't really choose. I don't really think you could choose. But if I had to pick one, if it was a life or death situation, it's gonna be a Diamond Dave.
Okay, right on. Good.
Yeah.
That's a big argument. I have generally heard from a lot of Van Halen fans, so that's awesome. All right, Alex, how about you?
I probably have to go with Tie Your Mother Down, just because I feel like you put her own rendition on it, and I feel like it's just like a totally different song, even though it keeps those like Queen roots.
Yeah,
I feel like it just like rocks even more. You know, I think obviously Queen does it amazing, but I think we're pretty close. You know, I think we just get it to that point where it's
Yeah.
you know?
Okay, excellent. Yeah, no, I'm a huge Queen fan. One definite loss to Music Society, of course, Freddie Mercury, very tragic. And it always brings kind of sadness, because I mean, I love listening to Queen even to this day, and every time it's just all of a sudden like, oh man, there's a guy who would have been amazing to try to get on the show, and you know, it's just crazy. And actually, even the information you learn about Freddie Mercury as time goes on. How the fact that you know, the one thing he didn't like was his teeth, and yet it was because of his teeth is why he could sing the way he could sing. So way to turn that you know, that sore spot into something gold, right? So
Yeah.
very, very cool. Adam, how about yourself?
So I mean, I've always had a soft spot for the song "Sweet Child of Mine," Guns N' Roses. I mean, from the guitar riff at the beginning, just so iconic. The vocal lines, I mean, just great. And even though it's like a 6.5 minute song, like I feel like you never really get a dull moment in the song. It's always just like you feel good when you're listening to it.
It's also a nice set filler. When you got a 90-minute set, it's a good 10 minutes, you know?
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
You can make it 10 minutes, especially with the wave that we were doing.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Was that your cell phone wave, right?
Yeah,
that was fantastic. Yeah. That was great. If you guys haven't seen that, jump onto YouTube, check out you know, the Adam and the Metalhawks when they're doing Sweet Child of Mine live concert, and it's really cool because they get everybody doing a cell phone wave left and right, and it was really, really fun. So, and again, that was another moment where, Adam, you could see your energy on stage, and you know, you're just grabbing people, and even I think at one point you wanted a complete back and forth wave, and then they kind of stopped. You're like, no, keep it going. Then everybody quickly, and it was just really cool. So it was really fun. Amazing. Yeah. So of course, Guns N' Roses here. We're talking about like the epitome of 90s rock and roll, and these guys were absolutely phenomenal. And just even seeing, you know, the talent individually, you know, after, you know, post Guns N' Roses, before of course they get back together, off again. I don't know. They're always off and on, but you know, just the individual talent in between is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Right on, Ryan. What about you?
I'm gonna have to go with another Van Halen song.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with "Somebody Get Me a Doctor." It's more of a lesser known Van Halen song, but I think something we really kick ass with every time we play it. We actually did like a Van Halen tribute with a bunch of other bands from Long Island, doing covers of Van Halen songs right after Eddie passed away last year. And that was the song we did, "Somebody Get Me a Doctor," and we did that live in Virginia, and that was crazy good. I love that song.
Amazing. That's cool. I'm gonna have to see if there's some footage of that one, because that'd be really cool to hear you guys play.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing. We actually had not too long ago Joey Arena from Outlier that was on the show, and he just redid his own version of Dreams, and it got Sammy's thumbs up. So if you haven't seen Joey Arena, check out his video, Joey Arena Dreams. And it's amazing. Like it honestly, it brought back the feeling of Van Halen just being all over again. So it's really cool. And so it's really cool actually to see, like, there's obviously a lot of Van Halen love between all of you, you know, and it's a really good choice for a band there. You know, again, we're looking at big metal hair bands, and they're fantastic. And again, energy, right? So. Eric, the future of rock is AMH. Damn right.
Hey, Dad.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Dad. He's in the profile picture.
What's happening, pops?
and you know what? Nobody would have noticed until you actually said that. So that could have been even more interesting in saying, "That's right, people." Just outright honest.
That is my father. I have to shout him out.
Yeah, excellent. Well, a shout out to Ryan's dad. Thanks for coming on the show, and that's really cool. And it's true. I mean, the energy and the presence that you guys have, you really encapsulated what rock and roll is all about. And I find it also super interesting because you got kind of a bit of an age spread between all of you here by the looks of it. And you just I don't see generally guys your age being super into rock, let alone that 90s rock. So how do you reach out to everybody? Like, how are you getting people all jazzed up, given the fact that it's such a hard genre nowadays that you're trying to grab people, right? I mean, there's always going to be love for rock and roll. Like, there people who love rock will go watch rock, right? But what kind of hurdle do you guys have to kind of get through in order to grab people and bring them in?
Well, the challenge, of course, is how do you get people to respond on social media? Because that's just the last bastion of fan bases is just social media, So
yeah,
of course, with TikTok jumping up in popularity, that's like the first platform we were jumping on, and it was like, well, you can't just take your original music and throw it on there and just say, hey, people, like our music, please. You kind of have to give them a little something. So TikTok, it's about memes, it's about trends and things like that. I mean, in the beginning of the platform, it was just all dances and stuff. So you mentioned it a little before with the bowls on our heads and hitting them with bottles and stuff. Kind of bring that humor and our personalities, but also have the homage to these amazing classic rock songs, So
yeah,
a lot of these songs have been used in cartoons and video games, So there's a younger generation that knows these songs, even if they don't really know that they know them. It's kind of oh, I remember that song from SpongeBob, stuff like that. But the energy and the love for the music is going to be the same. Like you said, there's still love for rock everywhere. So we kind of had to marry the two of the memes and the music. And that's kind of how we've been going with our social media. And now on Instagram too, we have all of our reels and stuff where sometimes it's just a cover. Sometimes we do just some funny stuff. And then the hope is that everybody will make their way to YouTube and Spotify eventually and say, hey, these guys are an actual band too. I didn't even know,
right.
So hopefully it continues.
Yeah, maybe at the end of those videos, you should be like, and check out our music. People don't think it's just like a bunch of guys who got together to throw something together. But, it's really interesting. So before we go, obviously, too further into it, I do want to ask you, with social media, I mean, I definitely find that given the generation, it is an amazing tool, obviously, getting out there. Like, imagine the grind of the original 90s bands that had to play the gigs and then just hope word of mouth brought people after, and then eventually you eventually get into a concert or maybe a series, or you're headlining for someone, and that's where things kind of take off. Now with social media, I mean, you've got 3 million followers already, and that takes a lifetime for most bands to grab, and you got it in such an early stage of your career, which is amazing. Of social media, when did you notice that massive boom? Like was there just like overnight suddenly, and you're just like, holy shit, there's 1 million people here? like how did that work for you guys?
I mean, if you count like 8 months or so of growth as like overnight, then I guess it kind of was. You know what I mean? But I mean, like when we first blew up with like the bowls and stuff, it was like, oh my god, like we're at 10,000 followers on Instagram. Like, who would have thought? This is nuts. And like not even a week later, we were like 100,000. And it just kept growing and growing like crazy.
Wow,
that's
amazing. I mean that's one of those moments where if I was actually watching my viewership climbing like that, and then that's what's really also super cool with social media, right? Like you can just see it; it's happening right there in the little counter in the corner, and like that's instant gratification of watching that number tick up. And so it's funny that you mentioned like, hey, that was over a course of 8 months or something. But I mean, when you go to post it up and then you're watching the counter, you're like, we've got one. That's always kind of that fun moment. But to turn around and see into the millions, I mean, that had to have blown your mind. Like there was no way that maybe you guys were expecting that, or was that goal out there like, hey, I hope this goes viral?
Yeah, that's the hope. Whenever you put anything out there, it's you what's kind of nice about it is once you put it out there, that's it. You did your side of the job, and now it's just up to the internet whether they like it or not. You kind of have your hands free at that point, and you're just hoping. So it's a wild ride. And then when you do see that success, it's almost bittersweet because it's like, all right, that's great. Now what's the next thing?
How do we do this again?
Yeah, exactly.
How good's the next one gonna do? That and
very intimidating.
It's a cycle.
You keep on top of yourself, pretty much.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, it was really funny. If anybody just kind of cut in and listened to the how you did this, it almost sounded like the exact roller coaster of how porn industry works. So,
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So,
well, if we could have that amount of success, that would be great.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because up here in Canada, I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of Bare Naked Ladies, and I mean that wasn't originally the band's name. They were playing at a strip club that was rented out as the band one night. So when people came in, they were expecting to see women, and they're like, "Hey, we're the Bare Naked Ladies," and they're like, "Oh, we're the Bare Naked Ladies," and that's how that all came about. So so super fun. We have a question again from Branch. Do you guys have a favorite concert moment where you interacted with the audience / fans, and where the phone wave was mentioned before, or is it something a little bit more personal, kind of ending a set?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
I'm trying to think. Let's go with Long Die Rock. Just the wave of the Long, the Die, the Rock, just going down the crowd. Pretty much what we have set up. Probably have to go with that.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's always fun to get the crowd involved.
Definitely.
Whenever we're doing a show, there's never like a wall between the audience and the stage. It's like we're the artists. You guys are just here to listen to us. Like it's more about like
no, it's never
let's
that.
all party together. And that's the kind of energy that I think rock brings. That's kind of unique, and it's just like everybody's in it together. So that's always a lot of fun.
Yeah. Breaking down the walls and being completely interactive, amazing way. Completely opposite to the last comedy show I was just at, where there was a plexiglass shield between the comedian and the audience, and it was the weirdest thing to look at. Like he was secluded in a little plexiglass booth. It was
like an exhibit,
right?
Here's the
exactly.
Exhibit,
right? Like
the comedian basically a zoo animal at that point.
Exactly. Just a fish in an aquarium, right? I mean, and like the guys are sweating profusely because like you got all the stage lights and they're just in this box. I think that was like torture.
Right.
I mean, the guy's over 20 feet away. Trust me, if anybody was coughing either way, it wasn't going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
So it was a bit extreme, I guess. So, all right. So, sorry, I kind of cut in there. Ryan, and what was your favorite kind of moment?
I mean, I don't know if you would call it like an audience participation moment, but we did a show out in Long Island about 2 years ago or so at this place called Stereo Garden. That's out in Patchogue. And like the second time we were there, after our set was over, like the crowd just started chanting like one more song. Keep in mind this was like pre-COVID, like pre-social media blow up, and like we had never had that before, like ever. So just to actually have that was a pretty insane moment for all of us.
I mean, we've definitely had that before.
It's on.
Just at a much smaller scale. We've definitely had that before. Just at a much smaller scale, for sure.
Yeah.
That's on video too, I think, over Stereo.
Okay. That's cool. Well, and that's one of those landmarks, right? Like that's one of those pivotal moments where you're just kind of like, wow, like they really love us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of, it's different when, you know, when you're playing like little clubs and stuff, but then you hit that big venue and everybody's chanting and you know, and it's funny because I can remember in music history very few times, but how many times that, you know, someone would you know, be an opener for an act and they'd outshine the main act and stuff like that. So it's probably, you know, like I think that's going to be that next moment, right? You're just kind of like, okay, so we're gonna it'd be great. We're gonna set up the Foo Fighters, and then we're gonna do better than the Foo Fighters, you know?
I don't know
No one's
about
gonna want to
that,
play with
but I
us.
mean,
Yeah. So cool. All right, so just quickly kind of flick back it because I know it is one of the big questions everybody has, and of course you've even done a little bit of a meme to this, Adam. But you know, Jack Black. I mean, this guy has got to be a bit of an influence on your life personally, right?
of course. I mean, he's always been an idol of mine ever since I first watched School of Rock, and his movie Tenacious D.
So good.
Obviously with his band Kyle Gass, and like you mentioned it before, like he just has such an energy about him that it like it just makes you wanna like jam with him, you know. And he's got such confidence. You really could tell he doesn't give a shit about anybody, you know. He's just having fun, and it's like, you want to have fun with me or just get out of my way, you know. So that's like the energy that I've always admired about him, and that's what made him an idol of mine. I always try to have that energy as well and that confidence.
Very cool. You know, so it's very interesting with someone like Jack Black, right? There's I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but comedians over the times, the best comedians are often the biggest comedians, right? I mean, if you're looking at Jim Carrey and John Belushi and like all these like over the top action and flexibility and just energy, you know, like as a big guy myself, like I'm just like, this is like, these are why people like Jack Black and
Chris Farley,
Belushi, and Chris Farley. Yeah, you know,
legend.
this is why they were so legendary. And unfortunately, and it's sad to say that every one of them is gone now, but you know, you know, it's just
that comes with the territory, I guess.
That's right. Yeah. So it's beautiful to see Jack Black still going at it. And, you know, it's just very interesting for me, right? Because especially when you look at rock bands, you know, and this is where I kind of look back all the time at, say, people like Kiss and Rod Stewart and all these people that these guys aren't good-looking guys. But goddamn, were they talented, right? Like, and this is where I originally talked about, like, rock is a kind of its own beast, right? Because it's not about what you look like, and it really is all about that raw talent and stuff like that. So, you know, you got Jack Black, who of course has just got crazy energy, you know, crazy talent on this. But that video where, you know, you're doing his cover from the Pick of Destiny, and did he reach it out to you guys? Did he just post this and send it back? Like, how did that happen? Because that had to have been like a mind-blowing moment.
Yeah, so I mean, we were trying to when we had our TikTok going, we would always get comments like, "You sound like Jack Black. Oh, you're just like Jack Black." Blah blah blah. So eventually, you know, we were like, all right, let's do a little challenge to try to get his attention, you know. And we did these like day one of trying to get him to duet us, and eventually it took till day 6, and Ryan actually pointed it out when it happened. Ryan, you wanna explain a little bit?
Yeah, so the funny thing is, like, when I got home from work, it just randomly popped up on my For You page. Like, literally the first thing I saw was Jack Black duetting our cover of like Kickapoo or whatever. And my dad was in the office, like on his computer or whatever. And I go up behind him, like, Dad, look, Jack Black he duetted us. And he just looks at me and he's like, "You guys did it. You got Jack Black to duet you." so he was really happy about that. We were all super stoked about that. It still doesn't feel real when I think about it.
It's pretty epic.
But that was definitely a highlight. And it's
Yeah.
like, but it's like what Adam was talking about before. You know, after like a day or two, it's like, now what? You know,
Yeah.
that's always the struggle. Now what?
Yeah, and I mean that could be hundreds of shows right there, is it? Or of the next, TikToks is just constantly reaching out to the next person, and the next person, and the next person, and seeing how many people you guys can actually get a hold of, right? I mean, that's half of the fun,
Yeah.
You just as long as you just don't get down and just be like, oh, should we do this anymore? Like, because hell yeah, you should. You guys are doing fantastic at it. So in that duet, I mean, I have to ask you, man, that is he just lip syncing to you, or is he singing? Because I mean, when I see a duet, I'm assuming he's actually supposed to be singing, but it's a perfect moment for our listeners out there. If you haven't seen this video, we posted it on our page just before the show. You got to go and look at it. It is so uncanny to hear Adam singing, sounding exactly like Jack Black, that when he just jumps in, I'm like, I don't know who's singing anymore. Is it Jack Black? Is it Adam? Like, who is it now?
Yeah, I mean, I think he was just lip.
Yeah, actually, Adam was lip syncing.
Oh, the magic's been ruined. He broke the fourth wall.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Let him know.
Ruined for all of us, goddammit.
Our videos the whole time.
That's hilarious. So yeah, he was just lip syncing to you in that, right? Like that's
Yeah,
that's
it
crazy.
was unreal.
Yeah. I mean, literally, Jack Black couldn't have done it better. I mean, because he's lip syncing such perfect time that I honestly thought it was him. So I mean that still blows my mind every time I watch that video, and I must have watched that video probably 100 times. Like, I mean, I walk around and I'm humming it to myself in my head, just because I think I've listened to it so many times. But it's very, very cool.
I honestly think what the craziest thing was is before the duet, the most recent post before that, in the comment section, every other comment was like, you got to go duet Jack AMH band on Jack Black's post. Like, it was like we had like a whole army of people telling him, all right, you have work to do, you got homework, you got to duet these guys, like
that's
crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty
very, very cool.
Yeah.
Andrew wrote in here. It said, I hope you guys come to Kingston, Ontario. Fantastic. At some point. Is there anything in the works for the Canadian tour?
Well, we're working on some
we talked
Canadian
about
dates.
it.
We did. There was a little mention of it earlier. So, I'll let you, of course, explain what you were talking to me. That clearly that is something you're thinking about.
Yeah. We're trying to, we want to hit the entire world at one point, but definitely Canada. It's right up above our heads, and we're ready. Yeah.
Yeah, we commonly refer to you as Canada's underpants. It's fantastic. So. Oh, let me tell you what Florida looks like. But with that in mind, Canada's a fantastic venue. We love to rock out just as much as you guys. So it's absolutely fantastic. You clearly have enough following here to come up this way, and more than that, we'd love to see you. So if that's something you guys ever want to happen, you let me know, and I'll see if I can reach out locally to a venue or something to try to get that happening. We'd love to have you guys up here. So
yeah,
that'd be awesome.
No, we'd love to come to Canada in any shape or form.
Yeah, it's and you know what? I know it's a little early now, but I mean our summer is, if anything, probably a little bit warmer than yours right now, and the fall is absolutely beautiful up here. So I mean, you guys are kind of out of that same Long Island area. It's not like you guys are unheard of regular maple trees and all that other stuff, but. It's funny because when you have the people from Florida and stuff that don't get anything beyond a palm tree, they see what Canada looks like in pictures and they're like, oh my god, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
What they don't show you is all the rain and mud that's in there, so it could be pretty gross too. All right, so we're gonna do a couple of quick questions with everybody, but before we do that, a little birdie told me that you guys just landed a skateboard deal.
Yes.
We did.
Over at
Amazing.
Volatile Skateboards, we have an official AMH skateboard. There's a color and there's a black and white. They look awesome, and they were designed by me, hand designed.
Really? Fantastic. Do any of you skateboard?
No.
Nope. I'm gonna learn though.
That's a fucking sin right there. You got a skateboard, Dylan. None of us know how to skate.
The cat's out of the
Frick is
bag.
that?
Like, God
Oh,
damn
well.
it!
Speaking of
When's
snowboard,
it?
though, we're
It's
coming out with
exposed.
snowboard soon. We're coming out
Yeah,
with snowboard soon. That'll be cool.
No, Alex does snowboard.
Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
okay. So
I mean, I
that's
went
nice.
through a skateboarding phase in high school. You know, I
Mhm.
feel like everybody does. Where
Yeah.
everybody meets up after school. You go to like the parking lot and just kind of roll around on a skateboard. So I mean, I don't know if that counts, but
Yeah,
I have a little
that-
experience.
well, there you go. So it's not like you're a complete stranger to the board. I mean, I skateboarded a little bit when I was in and out of high school, but eventually you just get a car. You stop using the skateboard.
Yeah.
Unless you're Tony Hawk's and you're making a shit ton of money just rolling around on a skateboard. No, I'm gonna take a car or the bike or something. So it's that's cool, but
100%.
yeah, very funny. I have seen the art actually on it. It's fantastic. Well done. As someone who was a graphic designer for years, I give you my kudos. So good job there, Adam. Are you guys thinking about it? Like, Alex, you obviously would like to reach out to a snowboard company. Is that kind of like the next thing? And
That would be pretty sick.
Yeah,
Does Vital do something with snowboards, or are we still?
I
think
think
they do.
Volatile- yeah, I
They
think
do,
we're
yeah.
gonna end up
I think they do.
making a snowboard with them as well. Once
Yeah.
the season changes,
That'll be
and
fun.
yeah.
right on. Then you're gonna have to go up to like the ski resorts and do a rock concert up there.
That's what I'm
Because-
saying.
That'd be awesome. Yeah,
I'm sure
Right?
Donner's
take
got
like
some
an
good snow up
igloo
there.
stage, like some snowmen, some rock hands. It'll be good.
There's a place actually up in Montreal, or just outside of Montreal, or Quebec City up here in Canada. They do an ice castle in the winter, and the
Oh,
whole
good.
place is it's a complete castle made of ice. So you sleep on furs and stuff, but you go to the bar and your shot glasses are made of ice cubes that they've hollowed out, and it's a pretty
awesome.
pretty cool venue.
Yeah.
So something like that would be
Wow.
really cool. Yeah. I think we got a couple questions here. I think we missed here. Oh yeah, so someone already mentioned. Yeah, Eric said that Alex is a snowboarder, so you're not too. Andrew Bird saying, "Come to the West Coast, Canada." Well, I mean, BC is a big happening space. Yeah, BC is pretty happening for concerts as well. So
Vancouver.
Yep, Whistler. So that's cool. Yeah. Now, I know we only have about 10 minutes left here on the show, so I'm going to ask you all some quick questions here. And there's no right or wrong. I just it's a little bit just to kind of get to know you guys, and just if they're quick answers, that's cool. If it leads you to a story, that's even cooler. Okay, the first question, we'll divide them up here, and let's go with Alex, and we're gonna start and say, what is? Oh no, this is one of our show favorite ones. We're gonna say, if you could make up a word to put into the English dictionary, what word would you create?
Oh God, jeez, you really put me on the spot for this one. A word. Oh man, dude. I don't know.
I can't help you out too. I can't think of anything.
Dude, I have no idea what to say. I mean, my brain is fried. I just was writing like 5 papers today. I'm like, dude, words? I can't even think of words right now. Hold on.
Be lucky I'm looking and speaking right now.
No,
So
it's
make
all good.
a
I
word
won't be
for
here.
when your brain is fried. That's
AMH.
the word.
What
There you
about?
go.
You've already got the definition.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Jeez,
AMH. I'm telling you.
I'm metal hawked right now.
Yeah,
How about
there you
that?
go.
Oh,
Metal hawked.
I'm metal
There
hawked,
you go.
right?
You're metal hawked. That could be the word. Okay, metal hawked. Fantastic.
Yeah,
And
I like that.
is-
You know what? Why not?
There you go. And the definition behind that is when your brain is fried.
Your brain is fried when it's just
Right.
on overload. You know.
It can happen from homework or it can happen from a concert.
That's
Right.
It has many uses.
One is better than the other.
Fry
One
brain.
is better than the
Very,
other.
very versatile. All right. Okay, Adam, if you had $100 million, what would you do with it?
Ooh, that's a good one. Probably, I'd probably take at least half of it and just make the band just blow up artificially
Yes.
with money. I feel
Okay.
I feel like that's something that a lot of people do already. So let's just jump on the bandwagon. I mean, we have our following. let's double it with money. Throw money at it.
Screw that. We can retire.
Then the other
Yeah,
half, I mean, probably, buy a nice house for my family and a house for myself and, a couple nice cars and then just sit on the rest, I guess.
With $100 million, you could meet Jack Black. I'm just saying. I mean, if you're gonna get that much, I mean, spend it lavishly.
With 100 mil, he might want to meet you. You never know.
That's exactly where I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah. If not, you just have him. You show up at his door. You have him show up at your door. You smack him with an envelope of money, and then just turn around and walk away.
Yeah.
That would make for good content too. Just make
That's
sure the camera's rolling and there's a music video right there.
Yeah.
Or you just dress up as Mr. Monopoly with like a tuxedo made of money and like an old fashioned like crystal ball, like sort of cane or whatever. Like, hello, Jack Black. I have $100 million. Would you be interested in meeting me?
Oh my God, that'd be hilarious. Okay, Ryan. Okay, because we always have to ask someone this. Do you believe in aliens?
100%. I mean, there are an infinite number of universes, and this isn't a political statement. Like, there are tons and tons of galaxies in the universe, probably more than grains of sand there are on Earth. There's probably an infinite number of universes, so there has to be something out there. I mean, with the leaked alien footage, I don't know, but
well, there you go. So
I think,
here's someone who actually did saw
that.
Or see this. You know what? I bring this up every once in a while on the show, and with COVID and everything that was going on, people forget that the U.S. announced aliens are real and gave everybody access to their files, and they were so smart about it because they did it in a pandemic where nobody knew, or barely. There was only like a handful of people who actually saw them come out with this and announce it, and I thought wow, that was really well crafted. I mean, if it was if we can't hide it anymore, how are we going to get it out there so people aren't panicking? I know we're going to cause a pandemic, and we're
right.
We're going to get people panicking anyway, so we can't really shock them after this because they're just thinking, if someone's going to cough on me, I'm going to die. Aliens, I'll take one in the
right, exactly.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, all right, well, that's good.
No, they're real. They're real.
Yep.
100%.
Okay. I like that. So, I mean, we can't be obtuse, we're not the only people out there in the galaxy. It doesn't, even if it's not like someone who walks around on 2 feet, there's got to be something else out there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Johnny.
All right.
Okay. What is the best thing you've ever eaten?
There's a lot. Oh, you know what? Cheesecake.
Really?
It's the best thing ever invented. Period.
Cheesecake, really?
Period.
Okay.
I love cheesecake.
Like a cheesecake factory cheesecake, or homemade, or is there a special? What kind of cheesecake? I guess are you looking at
any cheesecake? I mean, it's all good.
Cheesecake.
As long as it's made decent, I'm gonna eat it. So yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? My wife would agree. Cake is like the greatest thing in the world, but cheesecake. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm just not much of a sweets fan, I guess, but there is a time and a place for cake, and I'm one of those people that I love a cake for my birthday, but I only want one slice. The rest of it can go in the dumpster. I just sorry.
Right.
So I ruined it for the family because I started ordering when my family say, "Oh, what do you want?" I'm like, "Oh, some brownies." What about a cake? The kids want cake. Cookies. Everybody loves cookies. No, they all want the cake, and I'm like, oh, this cake's gonna go in the dumpster. We're only gonna go halfway through this thing. So, yeah, okay.
Yeah, everybody wants a cake, but then when there's a third of the cake left, nobody wants to take it home. Like,
that's right.
I've never heard of this. I think you guys are crazy. Just invite me. What you're talking about.
He'll eat it.
I guess Johnny will take it. Everybody send their rest of their cake to Johnny.
Yes.
My mom, of course, I thought the solution of that is she started putting money in the cake for birthdays. So she would take money and wrap it up in wax paper and bake it into the cake, or shove it in there.
Wow.
Yeah, and then that way the slice, when you got it was like, hey, did you get money? Did you not get money? And then of course, who wants to take home the cake? They're thinking, How much is left in that
I
cake?
see.
You're actually paying me to take this cake. And that's pretty
Next
good.
thing you know, you're shitting out $1 bill in the toilet.
Yeah, before you know it, I'm
It's
shitting
true.
Benjamins.
Yep, exactly. So
I
you know
was-
what?
I'm surprised you didn't deface the currency while you were cooking the cake. You know what I mean?
Well, you have to remember here up in Canada, we've got more change than we do anything else, right? All our dollars and $2 is all coins now. So, and
Right.
it's one of those things that really pisses me off because I mean, if you're a guy who carries a wallet, they don't make change pouches and wallets that are actually supposed to accommodate anything more than like 4 quarters.
Yeah.
You know, so like when you've got to walk around with a sock full of change, you know, it either works as both like a blackjack to knock people out, and or you know, it's just a defense mechanism. You swinging the change around. So they're actually forcing men to almost like want purses or handbags, and I can't do it. You know, I'm that doofus who's walking around with a pocket full of change, waiting for someone to be like, "That's $7.50. Oh, sweet!" And you just reach it in, and you're like counting out all the freaking change, and it's And then of course you have to look at it and say, "Oh, but I can hold on to those toonies. That takes less change."
Yeah.
Get me saying, "Holy shit! Why are you giving me 8 quarters? There's toonie right there." And I'm like, no, I gotta get rid of this. So
Yeah.
crazy. All right, let's do one more question each, and then we're going to kind of wrap things up. I can't believe how fast the time has gone.
Yeah, what the hell?
Okay, so we're going to start down. No, we'll start with Alex again. Alex, what is? Tell me one bandmate's filthy habit, like something you're just like, fuck, I hate when he does that.
All right, let's think.
I like how everybody grinned and Adam looked away.
So,
Well, personally, honestly, I take criticism well. It's just like how you give me the criticism. Like if I'm like in my zone, you know, if I'm in my drumming zone and then like you're coming at me with like all this information, I'm gonna get crazy. You know what I mean? It's just like because I have that adrenaline built up. It really could be anybody though. You know what I'm saying? Like I really like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you're
I
saying
mean-
is you hate all of them.
I love all of
They're
them.
always
I love
shit
them.
I hate
talking
all of
me.
you.
I see how it is.
No.
No,
I don't
that's
know.
cool.
I mean,
Okay,
I
so-
really got to think. I mean, I love all of them for all their different reasons. You know, I mean, they all bring something different to the table. And honestly, Metalhawks, AMH wouldn't be AMH without all of us. You know, because we all bring that different, unique ability / like influence / even personalities. I mean, personalities make up the band too. So I mean, I couldn't be thankful for any more for all of them, honestly. So.
Fantastic.
Just to bring it more wholesome, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good. You
I
turned
do
that
love all of
completely
them.
around. Good job.
They don't piss me off.
That was cute.
Everybody pisses everybody off. at the
That was
end of the
cute.
day. There's some kind of fork, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, for sure.
Good save.
All
Good
right.
save.
Yep, that was well done. Good turn around. Adam, if you could do one different position within the band, which one would you tackle?
That's tough. I mean, like if I could just wake up tomorrow and just have the ability to do that, I'd probably pick the guitar. I mean, like I was a huge fan of Guitar Hero growing up, and I would play on expert. I'd get it all down. The fingers would be going.
Yeah.
But I picked up a acoustic guitar, and I can't do shit on it. You know, I mean,
I was the exact same way. I'm thinking, how hard could this be? Like I'm fucking rocking out on Guitar Hero now.
like we're
Wow,
getting
man, I'll tell ya.
100% on the expert. I mean, I should just be a guitar pro right now.
Yeah,
Yep, yeah.
that's fake guitar.
Yeah,
That's right.
a plastic guitar I would do great on, but yeah. So I would say probably guitar, shredding
Okay.
the solos.
All right.
Would be
Now
awesome.
that is if you woke up and you had the talent to do it. If someone turned around and said, "Hey, I need you to play an instrument by the end of the week," which one would it be?
I mean, maybe I would be able to get through it on drums. It wouldn't be great, but maybe I could keep time. You know,
Okay.
I was in the school band for a long time, playing the trumpet. I was in the jazz band and stuff, so I feel like I could maybe keep time, get the kick and the snare going. It wouldn't be pretty, but I think I could hold it down for you.
Okay, interesting. So it's funny. I did a little bit of drums in the band and back in like grade school or whatever. That transition school between high school and grade school, and it's not easy. I give drummers some of the biggest props because to work four limbs independently for a song, like, it blows my mind. I try even with like three fingers drumming something out sometimes, and I just, as soon as I try to switch over and bring the other hand in, I'm fucked. I'm just like, I don't know how they do it. Like, it's like my brain just can't separate that way. So drums, I think personally is, and I'm not down talking anybody else's instruments, but I picked up a guitar and I can play a little bit of a song. Bass, I think bass guys never get enough credit regardless. That's it's a very cool instrument. In fact, no song is a good song without bass.
Thank you.
So you gotta love your bass players and stop shitting on them, because bass players, that everybody's just like, they look at a band, they're like, and then there's the bass player, and you're just like, why are you giving this guy a hard time?
Yeah.
Right. So no, I give obviously everybody credit. Adam, you got an amazing voice, a lot of energy. You bring a lot to the band, and truly no more than everybody else, because all of you play so well. You're so versatile. The fact that you could just pick up some plastic bottles and some bowls and smack out a good tune and still sound fantastic all together acoustically. I give you guys a lot of props. You guys are fantastic. I super love you. I'm going to continue listening to your stuff. As for all our listeners out there, or our viewers for now, it's wonderful that we've had so many people chime in and answer or ask questions, and the guys answering some questions. For the listeners on the road, make sure that you take some time out, you check out Adam the Metal Hawks. We'll make sure that we post a picture up of the guys on our website under our guest section, also as links to get over to things. Now, for your social media, where do you want people to try to find you?
I mean, if you look up AMH Band on pretty much any platform, you'll probably be able to find us. Right now, we're doing a big push for our YouTube. We're putting out some cool behind the scenes, like vlog style videos from our past couple of excursions. We have one for our Virginia show, and we have one for the New York City Gala 9/11 benefit show that we did with Soho Johnny and a bunch of other awesome people. So we just put that one out today. So yeah, just go on our YouTube and check it out. And other than that, we're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, pretty much everything. TikTok.
Yeah. So I gotta say, and I didn't bring it up, but yeah, it should have been the first thing I said. These guys are literally fresh off the carpet for like a red carpet event. Quickly before we go, that is something that is absolutely fantastic. It was a wonderful benefit concert. Again, it was thrown by our friends Joe Soho Johnny out of New York. But what was it like? I mean, for each one of you, like, what was that moment like?
That was pretty cool. Honestly, that's all I can say. It was pretty cool. It's like you see all the celebrities on TV for years and years, like being on the red carpet and all that other stuff. So when you go on the red carpet yourself, it's like, whoa, I'm on the other end of the screen now. You know what I'm saying? So like,
that's crazy.
No, it was cool.
That's very cool. Yeah,
definitely in the beginning it was a little nerve wracking. I was like, damn, taking pictures in front of a red carpet over here. But once we kind of got into the element, we were like, all right, this is pretty cool, and we hopped on stage. The setup was a little different. I had to stand up and play drums, which was a little interesting. But overall, I think it was a great experience. I think we made great contacts. And yeah, I mean, I thought I had a lot of fun with it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How about Johnny?
Yeah. Same thing like they said. It's pretty surreal. I wasn't expecting it. I mean, no one was expecting it. We kind of just showed up, and then there was a bunch of cameras. So that's like everywhere Danny puts us. So shout out to Danny.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, so was it one of those things that just someone said, "Hey, we want you to go to this," or was like, "Hey, we got an invite"? Like, how did that come about? Like, were you guys just like, "Holy shit, we're going to a red carpet event? Really? Us? What?"
Yeah,
I
we kind of
mean,
just got invited.
I think we got invited. It was actually through Steve Sage. Shout out to you, Steve. I saw you were watching. So he was going to be doing the filming at that gala anyway, and he was talking to the house drummer about us. Like, oh, I was just on the road with these guys out in Virginia. I was like, oh my god, that'd be so awesome if we could get these guys to play here. So we actually got in through Steve.
Amazing. That's awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. So Adam, we haven't heard from you. What was the red carpet like for you?
It was a lot of fun. It was cool. Anytime that we get to just pose and smile and our work is done, that's a good day. We got to walk in and be the cool guys for once. And then once we got in, we talked to everybody in there. It's just super awesome. The venue itself is amazing too. The lighting, and they had like a cool little like screen set up behind the stage that they were doing cool stuff on. So really awesome event.
Very amazing. Very cool. All right, gentlemen, I appreciate all of your time. I'm glad I was able to get a hold of all of you. Again, for our listeners on the road, we'll make sure that there's links to their social medias, as well as a pretty picture of the guys. I just received a bunch of pictures from your man there. So, Daniel, we'll make sure that we get one of the better ones up there for you. No, they're all good. They all look good. And and we'll make sure everybody, if you have a chance, jump over to either their YouTube, their Twitter, their Instagram. They're absolutely fantastic. The guys have got a lot of energy, a lot of comedy. Guys, I hope to see more from you, and hopefully we can have you back at some point, after the next release, and we can talk about how things have been changing.
Sounds great. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Excellent.
and hopefully we can come to Canada.
Yeah, if you can, make sure I want to be one of the first people to know, so we can try to meet you guys up in person and
for sure,
and have a good time.
Great.
Show you around.
Yeah, you'll be the first to know.
Wonderful. Excellent. Well, again, guys, thank you very much. Super loved having you on the show. Love your music. Keep it up. It's always a good time. So for everybody out there, please check out Adam and the Metal Hawks. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Rock on.